Alright, let's try that. Test. Alright, I think we're good. Dodgy earphones slash mic, I think. Please give us a thumbs up if you can hear me. That's really weird. I've never had an issue with audio like that before. Awesome. Looks like we're good. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, not really sure what the go is there. I've never had an issue with audio. I just tried another set of earphones, and that seems to have done the trick. So maybe a mic issue on my end. That's a weird one. Anyway, at least we got it all fixed up now before the race started. Thank goodness I haven't said that much yet. A lot of just watching. So, but yeah, welcome to our finale, round 15. After 14 hard-fought rounds, we are finally at our finale at a really classic track. Brazil has hosted finales before. I'm sure quite deliberately. The last three races, Brazil, Monaco, and Japan, the final, second last, and third last rounds. All very historic tracks, but really nice to end in Brazil. What is a funky little racetrack? Yeah, it's not the longest, not the slowest. It's quite fast, quite short, but there's plenty happening around here. Really tricky to turn 1, 2, 3 to absolutely ace, but satisfying to get it right. Nice technical section in the middle, and plenty of straight as well to encourage some overtaking. So it's got a little bit of everything. Good things come in small packages, I guess you could say. But generally a fan favourite. A lot of drivers love driving around this place. So yeah, what better place to host a finale than Interlagos. Now Mr. Brazil himself, Banana Cake Pie, loves this track, I know, as many other drivers do. So yeah, we'll see what he can do. P2, 7 flat. Jeez, it's insane how quick these guys go around here on this game with these cars, with the downforce they've got. But yeah, quick summary of qualifying. So far, it's currently a Renault 1-2, which is quite impressive. Championship leader F1 Hawk, or should I say championship winner. I think last week we tentatively called him the championship winner, pending post-steward results, but I'm pretty sure he has now got it in the bag. So F1 Hawk, we might just flick onto him for a sec, give some congratulations. He might even take the original pole here, and he does, into the sixes. So congratulations to the McLaren driver of F1 Hawk for wrapping up the championship last week. Really solid driver. I think he's looking forward to jumping up to tier 1 with the big boys next season. One truly deserving, just absolutely on the money at every race. Really consistent performer, and with such a competitive field, consistency really is the key. So that's what F1 Hawk's been able to do, and that's why he's a deserving champion. So I might just get that out of the way quickly. I'm not sure what other fights we have on in terms of the championship. I might try and pull up these standings. So the lead's currently 28 points from F1 Hawk to Scotty in P2, and he's very safe in P2. Might just give a special mention to Scotty as well, who's just come across the line actually as well to set a lap, 7 flat. He's also had a very consistent season. Started off mid to front runner in tier 3 last season, was the first encounter I had with him, but it's gradually built up, pays after every race, and really contending for wins week in, week out at the end of last season in tier 3. Call up to tier 2 and contending for wins once again. So big step up for Scotty, but he's done really well. He and his teammate Macedonian, who's sitting third in the championship, have been really solid for Haas, who I think have locked in the Constructors' Championship as well ahead of McLaren. So that's the top 3 in the championship. Esnu and Banana Cake Pie currently sit 4 and 5. I think Esnu is pretty safe, but after Banana, you got Edmund in the Ferrari, who's only a couple of points behind. So P5 in the championship might be our closest championship fight in terms of the drivers. And down in the midfield, there's obviously a lot of very close drivers together, with there being less points on offer. So a little bit to play for still for some of these guys, but most of the big points have been given out already in terms of the championship. So I guess it's freedom for a lot of these guys to just race. Just go for it, which is what we like to see. Just pure raw racing. A couple of guys have retired from the session, might as well mention as well. I don't think they've done it on track, just in the pit lane, so possibly just going a last to question mark. One of those being Blocky, who's been a relatively inconsistent attendee for the second half of this season. And then Macedonian as well, I'm not sure why he's retired, possibly a last to first because his championship position is pretty set as well. ID Cheng's filling in as per usual. He's probably got better attendance than half full timers, honestly, in this tier. It does show if you rock up and score points week in, week out, you can contend for big positions. ID Cheng's probably taking a lot of points off some people who aren't doing that. Shout out here to Will as well, currently P3. That's a pretty good effort for him, but nice to see qualifying so close. We've got 3 guys sitting in 7 flats. S Nui's pulled out a 6.6, which is very, very fast. F1 Hook sitting behind. 15 or 16 drivers in the field. Honest Cook hasn't set a lap, not sure if he will. ID Cheng's also hasn't set a lap, but he's out on track now. Qualiban for Macedonian, that might be right. I might check that. I know he got involved in an incident last week with Ned, so maybe that is the case. So it might just be Blocky, who's not electing to set a lap. I might try and find someone on the lap. No, Honest Cook is out on track, so on the mediums, as pretty much always, keen to set a lap right at the end of the session on the harder compound. Varying success. I'm not sure if he's getting the toe from his teammate or whether he's just let him go. They're both on out laps, so I guess they're just doing some master plan sort of stuff. Oh, this is a working treat. They both had to check up out of the last corner, so they're both probably going to lose a bit of speed in turn 1. Not really sure what the go is here. Edmund's sort of towing Cook along, even though Cook's on the mediums. Looks like Cook's going to get a preference for a lap, so there you go. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening there, but there you go. Will has retired. That looks like the pit lane, so looks like he's done for the session. Crookie, I think, is the only one on a lap at the moment, so we might just stay with him. Purple first sector. I know the game is very friendly with handing those out, so who knows whether it is purple or not. In the mediums, though, I highly doubt it. The mediums will be losing probably about 7-8 tenths a lap, fresh to the soft tyres. Softs are very good around here. They do last a fair while in the race as well, so definitely a viable race tyre. In terms of strategy, soft medium and soft hard are the 2 to go. Both end up actually being quite even on overall pace. I think last game it was a very, very easy soft medium, but I think this game mediums wear out a bit more. So a soft hard isn't a bad shout, particularly if you qualify in the top 10 and have to start in softs. But if you get fresh sets, soft medium might be the way to go. But Cook is going to come across the line of medium tyres, might be his one and only lap. Would be good enough for P13, so jumps RD Cheng's at the moment, and he's going to drive off the track, sort of, to give his teammate the clear track there. So Edmonds can go another lap. Bit of oversteer out of turn 2, and that's not going to help, having to run wide into turn 3. Not the way you want to do that, but see what the time is. He's 2.5 tenths down his best, so that's already hurt him a bit there. For Edmund, that's no good. Kickbutt currently ahead, Reaper ahead as well. So if Edmund can find 2 tenths, then he's going to jump a few positions here. He's going to need a 5.4 now, being 2 tenths down already. I think every driver is pretty much coming out onto track now to set the final lap. Only 1 minute left in qualifying, so now's the time to do it while the track is at its best. Qualifying is fairly important around here, just due to how narrow some of the track is, but also just in general, right place, right time sort of thing. You'd rather have less cars in front of you than more. There's no real benefit to sitting behind someone kind of using tyres in dirty air. You can maybe save a bit of battery, but the battery burn is not too bad around here, I know. Edmund's going to end up not improving. He's not going to have enough battery to set another quick lap, so I think Edmund's just about done. He might have to flip to some of the contenders though, because they are on laps. Scotty's just coming around to start his lap. Messinu and F1 Hawk both in out laps as well, so they're going to be ones to watch. I think Banana is just ahead of Scotty. You might actually jump Banana. I know he's behind. Just trying to catch these guys as they go across. You might stay with Scotty here though. He's currently marginally up in his best time, which might be enough to jump Will at least. He can find another 10th or 2 through here. He could be contending for pole position, which would be great for him in his final race in this tier for the season. You want to end on a high. So we'll see what Scotty can do. Coming around the second sector now. Fast left-hander, nice and easy, flat out. Time has expired, so this is the last chance, and Scotty is marginally up. It's going to be enough to jump to P3, but not sure if it will be much further. I think that's a race point just getting out of the way there. Depp's retired. Most of these guys probably will be retiring now, but Scotty crossed the line. Can he jump? He can. He can jump one place up. Half a 10th. That's good enough for P3. Benake Pai sitting just behind as well. He's a bit further up as well, so he might threaten that P3. He's going to pick up a bit of a toe, and that's probably helped him in the end. That's probably gotten him ahead of Scotty. Nice little toe there from some non-teammates. Adi Cheng's in the racing point, being a nice chappy. Actually, Nui might be on a lap as well. He's still up, and he's going to improve by half a 10th as well with a 106.6. That's pole by 2 tenths, which is quite a sizable margin for such a short track, especially. So very, very impressive for S Nui, who might also be pushing for a tier 1 bid. I know he's filled in there a couple of times, but very, very impressive lap there. 6.6, 2 tenths clear of F1 Hawk Championship winner. Benake Pai, we know how much he loves Brazil. Sitting P3, Scotty just behind, Will just behind, those three separated by pretty much nothing. Kick Butt and The Rock, Edmund, Reaper, look at those times, that's crazy. All three of them within 400th of each other. And then Bags Little rounds out the top 10. Would have been good to see what Bags Little could have done in the championship had he been here the whole time. Prezzo, Depp, they won't be too unhappy. I think they'll get free choice of tyres. And the other guys behind as well. We'll get those free choice of tyres. So might step on the mediums and see if they can take them as far as they can. Not sure about starting on hards. Mediums are a pretty good race tyre. But P11's not a bad spot to be for Prezzo, as it's pretty dark here. It doesn't look like it's raining, but could there be some rain? I haven't checked the chat. I haven't heard any sort of weather report, so it might be dry. Got some predictions in chat though. Good to have a couple of viewers in the live stream. Hello to everyone. Banana or Prezzo for the win, says Kane. It's going to be tough to beat some of these quick guys. We know Banana has mega pace here, qualifying P3, so he's in a good shout. Prezzo, if he can do the reverse strategy and nail that, you never know. With safety cars and the like as well, we might see a couple of incidents which should help out as well. Good evening to Carl Dyer, Mr. KD, in the chat as well. Good to have all of you guys tuning in for the finale of Tier 2 here at Brazil. I'm going to pull out these tyres and let's see what these guys are electing to start on. It's mediums for 11 to 16 except for Depp, who's starting on hards. So trying something different, which we always love to see. Not just following the norm. The important thing for Depp though is to not get damaged. As soon as he gets damaged, his race is pretty much done. You only get one set of hards in 50% races, so you can't pit and put more on. If he pits in the first couple of laps, he's going to have to put on mediums or softs and 2-stop it. So really important for Depp to not get damaged, but probably see the likes of Stone Tower and Crook make up positions early. Same with Macedonian, he's a lot better than 16th place after that quali ban, so he's probably going to try and push through the field a bit. Those soft tyres will be good probably for about 8 or 9 laps before the mediums start to really take hold. Pit window's probably kind of between the lap 12 to 17 sort of range, depending on whether you're going hards or mediums afterwards. That's for the soft runners, so we'll see what the strategy is in terms of all of that. But we will have Renault leading us away with S Nui. Very, very short run to the line, so the start is not critical, but it's always good to get a nice start and lead out of the first complex. Bit of peace of mind. What can Banana and Scotty do from the second row? See if they can launch a cheeky one up the inside or something. Just behind Will, keep up. We know he's got plenty of pace as well. The Rock on his day is absolutely rapid. Plenty of pace in this tier, which is why this championship's been pretty exciting to follow along with. I've really enjoyed doing the commentary and streams for this tier. Throwing out some pretty cracking races with some pretty up and down results for a lot of guys as well, which makes things interesting for me. So we'll get to do it one last time here. It looks like we're all good here. Hopefully we get a half decent camera angle. That's not too bad. Alright, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Well, technically it's 10, isn't it? And we are underway for the final time for Race Spec Season 4 Tier 2. And it looks like a decent start for S Nui. He's going to hang on to the lead. Will he? F1 Hawk's going to dive one down the inside. They're side by side. Exciting stuff. Can F1 Hawk stick it? He's going to have to cut the curb a little bit. Still side by side. And a little bit of contact there. And oh, that's almost speared the McLaren into the wall. And they're still side by side here. Who can gain supremacy into turn 4? F1 Hawk down the inside. Is going to squeeze S Nui out and take P1. Benaki Pai holds on to P3 ahead of Scotty in P4. But really exciting stuff from our leaders there. F1 Hawk deciding to push S Nui off the line, which is aggressive but fair. On the racing line, you can continue to take that. Kickbutt Kiwis jumped up to 5th ahead of Will. Edmund bags little. The Rocks lost a couple of places, and Reaper's also lost a couple of places. Ida Cheng's the midfield. Looks like a bit happening back here. The medium runners getting all over the place. Maston's already made up a bunch of positions, diving down the inside of the stone tower. Really aggressive there. Already made up 4 places from last for Mastoni, so it's been a good start for him there. We'll see whether these guys can hang on. I think Dildog's going to be the one to watch, see whether he can hang on to this pack or whether he will drop off. But it is F1 Hawk leading from P2 on the grid, getting by S Nui with a great move there. Banana in P3, so double Renault podium at the moment. Big points as it stands, but a lot of laps to go. It's a 36 lap race, so plenty of time to make things happen. Looks like Kickbutt's got a bit of a gap in front, possibly due to a bit of overtaking being done here. No DRS yet, so we're not going to see those flaps open quite yet. They're not going to get the helping hand, as Martin Brundle says pretty much every single race weekend, really annoyingly, until the next lap. So yeah, it'll be raw racing till then, which make it tricky with everyone in a big train. Everyone's going to get toe off each other. With the dirty air sort of happening, it's quite difficult to get the front end stuck in, get the car turned around for the exit of the corner to get a run. So you're going to have to buy the time a little bit, but everyone is still within DRS range of each other, so this might be a bit of a first in terms of pretty much the entire field having DRS on lap 3, but looking pretty tidy overall. Up here, this time it's still pretty close. F1 Hawk hasn't been able to break away due to the short nature of the track. S Nui put in the quickest lap of the race, so S Nui has pace, and I bet he's going to want to win this. No real regard for anything else, I don't think. It's the last race of the season, you want to end on a high. He's going to have DRS here. I'm not sure if he's going to be close enough to use it though. This straight between turn 3 and 4 isn't quite long enough. The braking zone is not quite hard enough either to really launch a convincing one. Banana's sticking with these guys as well. They've got a bit of a gap now back to Scotty and Kickbutt Kiwi, about a second between all 3 of those guys each. So top 3 threatening breakaway early. It's up to Scotty now to see if he can close that back up. Kickbutt looks like he's sort of there, sort of not quite. We'll have to see whether he can hang on to this lead group, because I reckon if Kickbutt starts to drop, everyone else behind Kickbutt's going to have DRS. That's going to drag all of them back away from the top 4. So important gap there to watch. 1.0 seconds, 9/10 is toggling between all of those at the moment. I think he's just got DRS though. Has Kickbutt Kiwi, or has he? The detection zone is here. I'm not sure if he's going to have it, which is absolutely critical. No, he's not got DRS. So this is a chance for leaders to all push away a little bit now. Kickbutt Kiwi's having to use a bit of battery to stay with the pack now, rather than letting the DRS do the work for him. So really important to see what he does there. As we've got a bit of action at the back, I think Honest Crook going down the inside of Depp, who is still on the hard tyres, so struggling a bit early on. This mid-pack though looks pretty crazy as well. A couple of guys weaving around on the straights. Reaper trying to get out of tow of the Rock, as Mastoni's going to launch one down the inside of Ida Cheng's. Doesn't have any really other option than to let the Haas Strata go. So that's P11 now for Mastonian. This is a pack here. I see Bags Little's making up some ground now. Will Kickbutt Kiwi, this little pack looks really, really racy, but unfortunately they're losing out to the guys ahead, as Will gets a massive bit of oversteer coming out of the corner there, just putting the power down a bit too aggressively. I think this battle will continue to rage on while Kickbutt Kiwi doesn't have DRS from the guys ahead, and Scotty might be out of DRS range as well from Banana. which is important because Scotty may be left in no man's land then. But Bags Little might be on to watch here. Keep an eye on the gap as well for the lead, which is very, very close. You might have to look at that though, because S Nui is closing, but not quite close enough to have a dive. Banana Cake Pie is still right there as well. F1 Hawk possibly just taking a warning there for cutting the second corner. But these guys not quite able to really make anything happen yet. The Rock is the first one to pick up a time penalty for cutting corners. There are a couple of places you can do it. Turn 2, definitely a very consistent culprit for warnings, as well as turn 4, running wide between 4 and 5. Really easy to cut the corner there, as S Nui is trying to find a path past F1 Hawk but unable to do so. Scotty's still sort of there but sort of not, as Blocky's also picked up a penalty from towards the back. So that is not good there for the Mercedes driver if he's going to try and make up positions. He's going to have to drive clean for the rest of the race and hope that other guys around him get penalties. Banana's very, very close here, so we can't count Banana out. I think Scotty might just have DRS as well. Might check back. Scotty does have DRS, so Scotty's doing well enough to hold on to these top guys. He has dropped Kick Butt Kiwi, so that is threatening to get spicy back here. As Bagsley was going to have a run, but he's not quite close enough to make a move. Late the brakes, not quite. S Nui is still right on the tail of F1 Hawk. Going to try and toggle between these two battles here. We want to see on-track action for our finale. I don't think S Nui is going to be close enough, not quite. But I think Bags Little is for P7, and he's not quite going to get the run. Will with DRS on Kick Butt Kiwi is really helping him defend, as Will, we see him just drift out wide and pick up the penalty there. So third warning already for Will, which isn't going to help him in the long term either. And he's running wide there as well, so Will possibly struggling a bit for grip already, unless it's just a bit of a driver error. But yeah, obviously feeling the heat from the Red Bull behind. Edmund and Reaper, the Rock are all still right there as well. Stone Tail's fallen a long way back. I wonder if Stone Tail's got some damage, because he's dropped about 3 seconds in about 2 laps. So I'm not sure what's happening with the Stone Tail. No visual damage. So that's a bit of a weird one. I wonder if he's just made a mistake and checked up a little bit. Top 3 though, or top 4. I think we should start calling this top 4, because Scotty's right here as well. He's definitely in DRS zone now. So Scotty looking racy as well. All the pressure's on Kick Butt Kiwi, who's going to get overtaken around the outside, or is he? Will's going to send it down the inside. A bit of side-by-side contact. He's going to push Kick Butt onto the curb, and Kick Butt might lose out here to Bags Little as well. He won't get the DRS, I don't think. Will Kick Butt Kiwi. Bags Little's going to go down the inside. He's going to stick it. Kick Butt Kiwi's not going to have much to defend with, except for perhaps a switch back, but I'm not sure he's going to quite have the run up the hill. So Kick Butt loses 2 places after an aggressive move from Will, and then a really nice smooth move from Bags Little. So yeah, nice spicy little battle there, and Edmund might be the next one. Reaper as well, and the Rock close behind. Macedonian on mediums is the lead medium runner, so we have to watch his progress pretty carefully as well to see when he starts closing in this soft group. That will give us an indicator of when the tyres are really starting to go off. But yeah, exciting stuff to start off this race. Reaper right on the back, the Rock right on the back as well. Macedonian about 1.3 seconds behind, so he's got a bit of time to catch those guys. I'll see if he can do that. Up the front though, F1 Hawk still good enough out of the final corner. He's quick enough where it matters, is F1 Hawk. He's not coming under direct threat yet, as these guys are all still having a scuffle. Edmund and Kick Butt Kiwi side by side, wheel-to-wheel contact slightly there, but they get through it relatively cleanly, and Edmund gets through, but Kick Butt Kiwi's going to have DRS. They're both going to have DRS actually, and they're going to move aggressively to the inside. Kick Butt Kiwi, can he squeeze around the outside? Not quite. He's going to have to slot him behind and try a bit of a switch back. Bags Little's gotten by Will as well, just ahead, so a couple of moves happening here, which is good to see. As you've got action all over the track here. We've got a side-by-side at the back as well, between 3 cars. Zaid Changs is off. I'm not sure if he's just gone wide there or if we've got a bit of contact, but he's dropped it now to the back. So he's got a lot of action here at the start of this race. This midfield pack is absolutely crazy, and that front pack, they're not just going to be happy sitting behind each other for the whole race, so that's bound to have some action happening soon. So good to see plenty of racing happening. We do have 3 distinct groups, but at least there are cars close to each other, which is what we want to see, what these guys of course want to race. On board here with Reaper, using all of his battery, but he's not going to be able to get a move done on Keep Up Kiwi. Lock up into turn 1, try and get the car rotated. Keep Up a bit wide there. Might compromise his run slightly. Now Esnu is very close as well and keeping on that gap too, but he's unable to make a move. Banana and Scotty's still right there. And F1 Hawk picks up a penalty. That is critical for this race. That is absolutely critical. Because that's now a 3-second deficit effectively for him. So he needs to either gap or hope that the others get a penalty at some point as well. Like I said, Esnu and Banana Pipe, if they just keep it clean and tidy and manage to stay within that 3 seconds, they don't have to do anything silly. But we still have a long way to go. Lap 9, 1/4 of the way through this race. The lap's flying by due to it being such a short lap time. But good to see some close battling to start this race off. Go up the hill. I would say through this beautiful Brazilian day, but it's not. It looks a bit sketch on the weather front. I don't think it's going to rain. I think I would have heard drivers complaining if it was going to rain, but nice and dull clouds. As Esnu is a bit hot into there, that might open the door for Banana. I'm not sure if Banana's going to try and make a move. He's not quite getting the run out of there. Esnu, even though he went deep, actually got a pretty nice run. This could be it. Esnu is going to have the run. He's going to run the outside. F1 Hawk is going to have to defend this one. Down the inside, more contact. Sorry, not more contact, more side by side. And Esnui has squeezed through. And Esnui now retakes the lead after losing it on the opening lap. So big there for Renault. Change of the lead. F1 Hawk, what's he got to fight back with now? Can he get close enough to launch an instant counter attack, or does he have to settle back? He has got a lot of ERS, so he didn't really use much of it in that battle, so perhaps just happy to save a bit. We're going to see what the players there. Scotty is well and truly in this battle now as well, though. He's got a 2-second gap to Bags, Little behind, who is actually catching them slightly and pulling Will and Edmund with him. So we've got a bit of action happening back here. I think Blocky's just gone off the track. I saw a green dot. I think that might have been the Mercedes there. He's lost a couple of places to Artie and Crookie, so a bit of action happening there as well. I think that midfield pack's fairly spread out now on this lap, so no potential moves there. F1 Hawk might be the closest one though, with DRS on Esnu, but Esnu really nice out of turn 2 again. That's becoming a habit of him. He's going to cut across the pit lane to defend, but he's not coming under direct pressure, no. So Esnu will stay in the lead of this race. Banana and Scotty not quite close enough to really make moves on each other. They seem content enough to just sit behind for the time being. Although I'm sure both of them would love to win the finale of Season 4. Now we probably have to think about pit stops the next couple of laps as well. 10 laps on these softs plus qualifying. They're not going to be feeling too flash. Now would be the time we see the likes of Mastoni make his move. He has closed that gap. He's now on the back of his train. So it looks like those mediums are starting to work really nicely now. If you're going to one stop on the hards, you could probably pit the next lap or two. But if you want to try and take the mediums one stop, you're probably going to have to grid it out for another few laps. These guys are all going to stay out. F1 Hawk with DRS, he's not going to follow Esnui's toe. I was happy enough to stay up the top. As we have yellows, and that is for the Stone Tower. He's gone around on the infield, trying to select him. Yeah, doing some donuts on the infield there. It's going to lose him a lot of time and a lot of grip. Such a shame there for the Stone Tower now, falling back to last place. Banana Pie here might be the one on the move though. He's very close, almost close enough to launch a move on F1 Hawk. But not quite, so F1 Hawk look like he may be struggling on the tyres compared to the guys around him. He's almost lost a second to Esnui. Trying to see who else is close. Will still get pulled on by Bags Little, but that gap has leveled at about 2.3 seconds now. So Bags Little looks like his little charge is starting to fall away, but what's really important here is F1 Hawk's gap is 1.1 seconds. Esnu is almost broken DRS. He's still got plenty of battery as well, so he can burn it out of this corner. F1 Hawk might get a slightly better run, but I don't think he's going to have DRS. No, he doesn't, and that's absolutely critical for this race. Esnu is clear in the lead, and F1 Hawk's on a pit, which I'm only half surprised about. Looks like he was really struggling the last couple of laps there on the tyres. And he's going to be the first car to pit. Edmund's going to follow him in as well. So our first buy test for pit stop, and surely they're going to go hards, and it is hards for F1 Hawk. What about Edmund? It's got to be hard, surely it is. So they reckon hard's the way to go. Really durable tyre, very consistent performer across the whole stint. Now, where's F1 Hawk come out? He might be behind a bit of traffic actually, which will not help him at all. He's got the battle of Artie, Honest and Dudog just there. And he's going to come out behind them. That is absolutely massive because he's now going to have to pick his way through that little pack there. And you can see them side by side. They're just going to race each other hard. They're racing each other, but not racing F1 Hawk. So they don't have to get out of his way. No blue flags are being lapped or anything like that. So I wonder if the guys up front are going to see that and think, well, maybe we shouldn't pit yet. Maybe this is a chance to get an overcut on him if he's stuck in traffic. F1 Hawk trying to go around the outside, but there's no real place to do it there. And now you can see him getting held up on the fresher tyres compared to the older tyres of the car in front. Those hards will be a bit cold as well. Usually it takes 3, 4, 5 sort of laps to get those hards right up to speed again. As I say, that SNW and Scotty are reacting straight away, as is Will and Reaper. So plenty of guys now in the pits, possibly fearful of an undercut. Banana Power will have to stay out, of course, as his teammate did come into the pits. F1 Hawk is going to get the run and probably going to get a fairly straightforward overtake here on Artie Cheng, so he's not going to fight it too hard, which is probably good. And now, where does he come out relative to these guys? I'm going to jump on board with F1 Hawk. Where are the leaders? SNW is ahead. Oh, he's still well ahead. So, looks like F1 Hawk's undercut has not worked, partially due to traffic, but I think he's lost even more time than that. He's lost about 1.5 seconds, a bit over that to SNW, so the undercut not doing it any favours at the moment. Scotty has come out behind Blocky though, which is more traffic, so there are now cars between F1 Hawk and Scotty. And the thing about Banana was between the two of them as well, so Banana's going to come out right in this pack as well if he pits, so it might be smart for Banana to either gun at this lap and pit again, or pit now, or just wait until these guys can kind of clear the traffic almost, or let the traffic hold them up so Banana can come out ahead of them. Banana's going to stay out. I think that's a good move. If Banana's serious about trying to win this race, I reckon staying out and letting these guys get held up is the way to go. Baxter also stays out as it's Kickbutt Kiwi, The Rock as well on the soft tyres, so they are possibly going to try that medium strategy then, if they're still staying out as well. Scotty's going to get a pretty straightforward move done on Blocky here down the inside of turn 1. Blocky later on the brakes, but Scotty with the grip and the track position gets through, and SNW picks up the time penalty. He's now even with F1 Hawk on penalties, so that is definitely something to keep in mind for the end of this race. He has got the track position, but that 3 seconds, it could come to hurt later on if we get a late safety car, or whether Banana Cake Pie can pull the overcut. Oh, we've got yellows. Oh, and that's Scotty. Scotty's round. And that's put him way back. Has he got damage? If he's got damage, it's pretty much a race over for him. Because he is on the hards, he's going to have to pit off him. No visual damage, thank goodness, but that's a lot of time lost, and that's probably taken Scotty out of contention for the win. He was sitting in net P3 or 4, and he's picked up a penalty for good measure as well, but that is massive for the race. 4-car fight at the front is now a 3. I wonder if that traffic's played a part there. I'm just trying to go for a move that wasn't quite on. I think the Stone Towers dropped it again in sector 2. But we're going to have to stay on board here because this is really important here. Kickbutt still stays out. He's going to be the last one to pit off the soft tyres, and it is mediums for Banana. And it's mediums for Bags Little. SNW and the hards will get by. Banana Get Power will have fresher tyres. Where will Banana come out? Coming out of the pit lane now. We're stuck in a bit of a glitch there. I can't quite see where Banana is for some reason. I'm not sure why. There he is, coming out, and he's going to be just behind F1 Hawk, but on the medium tyres. He'll have better tyres, but they may start to fade away quite drastically towards the end of the race. But that's the risk you take with medium. So Banana Cake Pie will probably start to tear his way through this little pack here. But it'll be up to him to save the tyres and be looking in the mirrors for when the hards start to come back. Bags Little on mediums as well. He's come out behind this pack here, so this has really hurt these leaders coming out this pack. Without the clear air, they can't really push. They're just getting a little bit held up, just being on fresher tyres compared to the guys around them on old tyres. The pace difference isn't that massive on raw pace. We know how close this field is on pace. But in terms of, sorting each other out, it's pretty big. So our final soft run is Kickbutt Kiwi and the Rock are now in the pits after 16 laps. It's a pretty good effort to take them that far. As Banana Cake Pie's going left, right, left, he might try and look around the outside of F1 Hawk. He's going to go for it. He can't quite get the nose in though. F1 Hawk's going to hang on just for P5. Banana's got a really nice run. You can see the grip of those medium tyres really helping him out. He's going to use all 4% of his battery, and it's not going to be enough because F1 Hawk probably has a lot more battery than he does. and Banana can't quite squeeze through. So Banana's going to have to save a bit of battery and dump it in a move, but he's going to have to do it soon so he can get clear air and get those tyres rolling, because the more he sits in traffic here, the more tyres he uses. And he doesn't need to use more tyres than he needs to. He's going to go for a massive send down the inside. That is a great send from Banana Cake Pie. Fantastic move for P5, effectively P2 in this race. That's a fantastic move there from Banana Cake Pie. Down the inside, laying the brakes, absolutely timed to perfection. Got the car pulled up as well, as Cookie's running very, very wide there. So Banana needs to clear these two now to not let F1 Hawk have another chance. He takes a pretty narrow exit there, possibly just a little bit of oversteer. Banana will have DRS though. He's going to use a bit of the battery to help, but I think Cookie's going to use some as well to stay ahead. Banana Cake Pie can't quite close the gap enough to make a move. Bagslittle gets by Artie Cheng just behind as well on the straight. Bagslittle is part of this front group. Artie Cheng's yet to pit. So that's a little gap to watch as well. There's moves going on everywhere. So it looks like Edmund and Blocky and Will all having a bit of a scuffle as well. These guys have to stay position, but Will is going to go down the inside of Edmund with DRS. Can he get the car stopped? Alfa Romeo and Ferrari, and he can. So Will now up into P10 now, ahead of Edmund. Reaper and Scotty also having a side-by-side. Scotty trying to make a comeback after that spin earlier on. And there's a bit of side-by-side and a bit of side rubbing. Now they're still side-by-side. Scotty is not going to have this easy, and he's been run off by Reaper very aggressively there, and he's going to stay on the inside. Can he squeeze the nose? Sort of just. We've got moves happening up here as well. Might have to stay on this battle though, as the Rock's going to squeeze down as well on Scotty. Banana's gotten by Honest Crook, but he did get a time penalty last lap as well. That's going to hurt him. So now all the front runners have even penalties except for Bagslittle. Mastoni is the first of the medium runners to pit as well, so it's all been happening the last lap or two. F1 Hawk gets by Honest Crook as well. He doesn't have much to fight with 18 lap old mediums. They aren't going to be too great at the moment. You might come under pressure from Bagslittle behind as well. As this battle's still going on as well, the Rock and Reaper and Scotty still going on. The Rock might just hang on here from Reaper. Will he send one? I don't think he's going to. Rock's just pit from mediums, so he should have pace, and he does have the pace to hang on. Banana's now up in P2 as well. He just got by Depp as well. F1 Hawk now behind his teammate, who might just let him go down the inside. And I'm not sure what's going on here. I think Depp was going to let F1 Hawk go, but F1 Hawk didn't go, and he's ended up blocking Honest and Bags, which... that was weird. That was very weird there. Because he definitely didn't accelerate when he should have. So I think F1 Hawk just wants to race. Unfortunately, it's come at the cost of Honest Crook and Bags that have lost time. I think Bags will get the run though on the Ferrari driver. But that's hurt all of their sort of race a little bit. They've all lost a couple of seconds there probably in that little scuffle. So F1 Hawk's going to probably make the move with his teammate soon. But these guys, Honest Crook just manages to hang on. There's 2.5 second gap back to Artie, goes and pit yet. Now Blocky's behind as well, he also hasn't pit. So those guys are in a race. And this is a crazy little pack here. You can see on the mini-map, Blocky wrecks down the inside of Artie Chang's. There's contact, Will's running to the back of Artie, and Edmund's just going to say thank you very much and take 2 positions. In probably the easiest double move of his life there, with some contact from the guys ahead and forcing them out a little bit. Now kick button Macedonian having just pit as well right behind. So this is absolutely crazy here, this battling, plenty of overtakes on track. Courtesy of the front guys not being able to clear the midfield before pitting. Kickbutt's going to squeeze through for P10. Now you won't have much to fight with, and Macedonian might try and follow. Can't quite. The Rock's still right there as well on medium tyres for the Rock as well, so he's going to have a lot of pace. As Macedonian has a look around the outside, and that move's not quite on, but around the outside of the final corner, not really an overtaking zone, but he's got it done. Really good confidence on the hard tyres. Mike Chang's in the old medium tyres, obviously losing a bit of pace to what he would think is optimal, and he's going to stay out for another little while. And the Rock is going to get by. We've got a couple more pitters, Artie and Honest and Blocky are all in the pit lane. So they're getting off their mediums too. It's going to be softs, so they're going to take the softs 15 laps, which should be doable. So now, yeah, good shout. Artie Cheng will probably see pit as well in the next lap or two. Stone Tail's also in. As you've got to move up here for P4, it's Bagslittle through an F1 Hawk, and now this is for position. The only guy up here who hasn't stopped yet is Depp. Everyone else has stopped, so all these places except for P3 will be for genuine position. It'll be interesting to see when Depp decides to P. He might come in the next lap or two to put the softs on, but bag little really important as well, not having a penalty. That's a massive move there. Now it's up to him to start to close the gap to Banana Cake Pie, who's currently a little bit up the road, but might be able to close that gap as Kick Button Will going side by side through the long left-hander. That's always scary going through there. You can lose the car if you're not careful, taking the wrong line, but Kick Butt Kiwi squeezes through on medium tyres. So we are seeing the medium tyres are a fair bit quicker than the hards at the moment. It's just a matter of how long they will be, as Will's going to lose out to Macedonian here as well. Nice camera shot here. Thank you, Cody's for giving the goods. Bit of contact. Not for the first time today. They're still side by side. Macedonian's going to squeeze, and Will is round. Can he keep it out of the walls? No, he can't. And that is probably going to be some end plate damage. I think there's an end plate sitting there now. Will's going to have to reverse on track, and there's definitely damage for that. Macedonian sort of just cutting Will off a little bit there on the apex. Tough one to judge, but initially possibly a little bit more room could have been given, but that's really hurt Will now. He's got damage. He's going to have to pit. Probably. That's going to pop him right down the field. It's a big shame there for Will, who's driving a pretty solid race. One good thing about that whole ordeal was a great camera shot, which we do not get enough of in this game. But yeah, that's really hurt the Alfa Romeo in that race. So neither of them having a great race. Sterntal currently sitting last, and will probably be second last, if not last, after his pit stop. Now, Kick Butt's on the move again. He's chasing down Edmund on the medium tyres, Edmund on hard tyres. A couple of guys behind still having a fight, but Kick Butt Kiwi is not looking behind. He's looking forward. He's going down the inside, squeezing between the Ferrari and the wall, and he's going to take P6. Great move there from Kick Butt Kiwi, using those medium tyres to good effect. But can Edmund have a run back here? He's got a really nice exit out of here actually, so Kick Butt's going to have to defend. Edmund has almost no battery, so it's going to just be DRS and only DRS he's got to fight with. Bit of a squeeze in the braking zone, and Kick Butt Kiwi's going to hang on to that just. Edmund's having to brake a little bit on the grass, which is not ideal, and pretty borderline, but he's gotten through now as Kick Butt Kiwi looks set to stay there. Macedonian and the Rocker right there as well, so plenty of action in this midfield still. A lot of guys fighting for solid points. Of course, being the last race, you want to absolutely maximise it. We did mention those midfield battles in the championship are very, very close, even though a lot of the front battles have been already decided. So a lot to fight for still for some of these guys. I know a lot of these guys are just going to send it and have a bit of fun, but you still want to get points. I think the more fun comes with a solid race. I think you're just mucking around, sliding around everywhere, it's not that fun. Whereas if you can put together a good race, that's even more fun. F1 Hawks now past his teammates, so we had to earn it, which I think he'd enjoy, honestly. We saw him not let Dildog let him pie, which I think is a great thing for this race. But F1 Hawk now up for P4. Depp still persevering on those hard tyres. He's got to be hanging out for safety car now. The softs will definitely go to the end from now. His fresh softs. As Macedonian squeezes through an Edmund who runs wide, that will be a warning for Edmund. So he doesn't have a penalty yet, so he might be close. So that might be one to watch as well. These guys, actually, all three of them, Kick Butt, Macedonian and Edmund's yet to get a penalty, as well as Bags Little and P3, which could be quite important come the end of this race. Blocky's got a few penalties, but all the other ones are 3, except for Will's 6. So that's worth noting. We will continue to check that as the race goes on due to these gaps being so close. It is going to affect the result of this race. F1 Hawk with his penalty might be in a bit of trouble from guys behind who are quite close, but I think F1 Hawk should have the raw pace to be able to gap a little bit of that. Plus he has some hard tyres. Dildog's now decided to pit, so he's done waiting. He is in, it's probably going to be the soft tyres. Just a matter of where he comes out and whether he'll be able to grow from that position there. Into the pits for McLaren, and it is soft, so he's going to come out around about Honest Crook. I think he'll be just ahead, who's picked up a time penalty cutting the first corner, the last corner, sorry, where the pit lane is, as Depp's going to slide out of the pit lane. And can he get Honest Crook? I'm not sure if he's going to. He might split the Mercedes and Ferrari, and he does get nice and close to that pit wall there. Quite a treacherous pit lane. You do have to be a bit careful there, but Depp now P12. Bottom 6 all on relatively fresh softs. They're going to be hunting down some guys, but there is a 10-second gap from 11th to 10th, so we're going to have to find a fair bit of time to actually gain some positions, but they're going to have a nice little send for the last phase of this race. Now, I think this is the battle we want to keep an eye on. Still The Rock chasing down Edmund, chasing down Macedonia, who's chasing down Kickbutt. Still a 4-car battle. Scotting on his comeback drive after an unfortunate spin/incident earlier in the race, fighting for a potential win or podium even. Reaper's right behind him as well. They are about 3 seconds behind his pack. You can see them just in the background there. I'm not sure if they'll be able to affect this battle soon with the pace these guys are going at, but if they continue to race each other hard, then you never really know. Rock not quite able to get by Edmonds yet. Macedonia also behind. It's a bit of a DRS train here. Kickbutt Kiwi is pulling them all along the medium tyres. Kickbutt's mediums are not going to be as good at the end. As I see a move here, that is Depp on Honest Crook around the outside. Got the freshest softs of the lot. Can he hold it? No, he can't. Yes, he can. It's close. He's very, very close to give each other just enough racing room. Really great racing between the pair of them. As they're going to be side by side still, and Honest Crook's going to swoop around the outside. Can Depp stick it inside? He can. And they're still going, and that is a fantastic little side by side there. Plenty of racing respect shown between the pair of them. Very respectable driving there. And Honest Crook will hang on. I really enjoy seeing great on-track battles where both parties are willing to give each other space. Just have a genuine race. Honest Crook running a bit wide there might cost him a little bit here though. Depp's right on his gearbox and might be able to get the move done. He's using his battery out of the exit, so wants to use it early. Crookie has a lot more battery in the tank, but he's not quite using it yet as the rain pours down outside my house, so sorry if you can hear that through the background. I'll do my best to yell over it. Edmund picks up a penalty in that battle there, and Depp can't quite get by Crook still. He's going to be deep again. Blocky's right behind these guys, so Blocky's going to want to get by as well. So this is a 3-car battle here for P11, which is points in this tier. Remember, top 15 do score some points. I hope that rain is not coming through. That's incredibly loud for me here, so let me know if I need to start yelling even louder. That is quite annoying there. Melbourne weather with the goods. Hashtag most Liverpool City. Macedonian is still chasing that Kickbutt, but Kickbutt Kiwi hasn't really come under direct threat yet. He is pulling them along, and he is actually pulling them towards F1 Hawk as, Macedonian has a moment there, but does catch it just, which is good. It might leave him vulnerable. No, the gap is probably too big behind. Yeah, it is. However, the Rock might be close here. He's using all 6% of his battery. Can he send one down the inside? He's going to have to think about it. Edmund sort of half covers, a bit of contact, and the Rock has to back out of it, losing the front end there. Fair defense there, I think. He held his line in the braking zone, did Edmund. Rock wasn't quite alongside, but he's going to want to get a move on soon. We have 8 laps left to go in this race. This race has flown by. It's been a really fun race. A lot of on-track action, which is great to see. Now the front runners getting involved with the midfield. The midfield having their own battles, and still guys at the back absolutely standing up with each other as well. It's been a bit of an everything race, which is great to see. No safety cars to wreck the strategy race either. That is the one bad thing about safety cars. You never get to see how the strategies play out. As it looks like there's a battle for Alpha Romeo supremacy here. I think Will gets by the Stone Tower. He's really struggling. But yeah, it's good having some non-safety car races because it lets the strategies play out. A lot of the time drivers get a cop-out from either a good or bad strategy with the safety car, which is good sometimes for some spicy on track, but not great in terms of the scheme of an entire race. Oh, that rain is so loud. I'm so sorry if you can hear all of that. It's absolutely pissing down outside. I can't even hear the in-game sound of my TV anymore, so there we go. But we have 8 laps to go, or 7.5 laps to go. Might just check through our leaderboard for now. Esnui leads a Renault 1-2, if you don't mind, at the last race at the moment. 3 seconds for both of them, but they have a 4-second gap to Bags Little, who's very, very close to getting a position there. So sorry guys, I have to yell so loud, it's absolutely bucketing down. F1 Hawk's chasing, or sort of chasing, he's actually losing time to Bags Little, so I think Bags Little's going to be the one on the move. Kickbutt Kiwi's close enough to jump in with the penalty, as is Macedonian. Edmonds and The Rock also have penalties But that battle is still well and truly on as well. Scotty 2.2 seconds. He's slowly catching that pack, but I'm not sure if he's quite going to have the pace at the end. And Reaper's chasing Scotty as well. And then the bottom six all on relatively fresh soft tyres after some pretty disastrous races. I've now gotten out of my chair and I'm standing next to my TV so I can hear the game sound. We're doing our best as Kickbutt picks up a 3-second penalty, and that's going to cost him a potential P4 because he's not going to jump F1 Hawk. He's going to lose out to Macedonian as it stands. So that's no good for Kickbutt there. With 6 laps to go now. As F1 Hawk picks up another penalty, so that evens out now. And that's really going to hurt F1 Hawk. That's going to drop in multiple positions. He's going to lose to Kickbutt, he's going to lose to Macedonian, possibly even to Edmund, and possibly the Rock. So F1 Hawk's now going to put the foot down again, but on 16 lap on hards, he was the first driver to pit, remember. Onto the hard tyres, so he's been very consistent but not rapid. That gap to the guys ahead has leveled out, so I mean, if the hards are going to get better than the mediums, it's going to be pretty soon. So F1 Hawk, he can't really bide his time too much longer. He's going to have to push now for those penalties as well. But the one I'm really fascinated about here is Bags Little. He's closed another 4/10 here, and he is coming ever so close to that 3-second window, 98 pi, to jump into P2. That's going to be a great battle at the end. It's not going to be an on-track battle, but it's going to be a great little mental battle there between the two of them as they watch the gaps. S2 picks up a time penalty, and that's going to put his lead under pressure as well. As we got a battle here, F1 Hawk trying to squeeze out Kickbutt Kiwi's trying to make a move around the outside. Very difficult to hang a move around the outside. You really need a lot of oversteer just in general to get a move done around the outside of a corner, and unfortunately Kickbutt Kiwi didn't quite have the grip there. F1 Hawk knows how to defend. Does well there. Macedonian just behind still as well. Can't forget this little battle as well here for 11, 12, 13 there. 3 of them, Cookie, Dildog and Blocky, are still chasing each other down but unable to really make inroads on each other. Depp has the freshest tyres, but Cookie looks like he's doing well enough to defend there. Now, in terms of this lead of this race, Esnui does have 6 seconds now, I believe. Banana has 3, Bags has 3s. We have yellows. Who's that for? Is that Edmund? Edmund's round. And he may have reset the track as well. And that's big there. That's going to cost Edmund a possible top 5. So possibly a bit of contact there. I'm not sure if it's contact or on the curb. I know I'm definitely culprit of it. Spinning out in that outside curb there, putting the power down too early. So easy to do. So I'm not sure whether he's done that or whether it's some contact with someone. Not really an easy place to make contact on the exit of the corner. So possibly driver error, but that's going to cost Edmund a fair few points. It's dropping down to 10th, where he's probably going to stay for the rest of this race now. So this 4-car battle is now 3. Macedonian doesn't have a Ferrari to worry about now. He can just worry about keeping his tyres between the white lines. Because if he does manage to do so, it will be P4 for him with the penalties. Blocky and Crook swapping positions a bit as well. Blocky and Depp. Blocky's moved up into 12 ahead of Deputy Dudog. Cookie's still in 11th place, so that's still going on. As we have more yellows, I'm not sure who that's for. Oh, actually, the Rock may have just dropped it as well, because he's behind Scotty now, who had a 2 and a bit second gap to. So the Rock, I think, possibly just making an error there in the second sector. That's costing him a little bit, possibly a bit more oversteer again. He's going to try and get that move back. No, Reaper's now coming under there. Sorry to get a bit of the drivers mixed up there. There's a bit of contact. The Reaper's round. And he's kept it out of the wall just. And he's going to be close to losing to Edmund. And he's going to lose out to Edmund there. So a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. And he cuts the corner there as well and gets penalised for it. But that looked relatively unavoidable. It's that really annoying kind of front tyre to front tyre, which is an automatic spin on this game. Semi-realistic, but not quite. That's going to hurt Reaper's chances of top kind of 8 as well, so he's dropped a couple of positions now. Bags Little, I've told you a couple of times I'm really curious to this gap. That gap is now 2.9 seconds, so Banana Cake Pie needs to find time in these last 3 laps on Bags Little to hang on to P2. Bags Little trying to spoil the Renault party at the end of this race. 2.9 is the gap, so 3 laps to go, and the gap is almost exactly 3 seconds, so P2 is going to come down to 3 laps. F1 Hawk's in the pits. Why has he done that? I know he's won the championship. I wonder if he's just going to go for a fastest lap. He's throwing away points. He's going to lose a few positions on penalties anyway, but he's going to lose even more from a pit stop. It is soft tyre, so it is going to be a fastest lap attempt. But he's going to lose more points than he would have had without setting it. He's going to drop behind possibly his teammate for P13. As Reaper, Hawk go through. Reaper, Cook, Depp, sorry, and Hawk is behind them all. So Hawk's going to have to gap out a little bit behind to get enough space to set a fastest lap here. And he's doing that, you can see there. So it is a fastest lap for some reason. I mean, he's won the championship already, doesn't have anything to play for. But yeah, why not? May as well. That is going to release Macedonian and Kickbutt Kiwi in 5th and 4th respectively. So Kickbutt Kiwi now might come under direct pressure from Macedonian, although Macedonian with the penalty advantage may not really have to force the issue here. We'll get the move anyways. We have more yellows. I wonder if that's just the F1 Hawk slowing down. As Macedonian's going to go down the inside of Kickbutt Kiwi. And he's going to hang it. Really nice drive from Macedonian from the back up to P4 now. We will hang on to it with the penalty situation as well, even if Kickbutt does get the move back, which he might. Down the inside. Bit of 1-2 punch here. And Kickbutt will get that position back. Should give some credit to Macedonian as well. Come up from tier 4, up into tier 2. As you have an incident here again, and that is Blocky going round with the contact with Cook. I think that was in the Ferrari. Wheel to wheel contact there, and that's going to put Blocky way down the field. And for some reason, he's ghosted through instead of collected IH, which may or may not be a good thing. The action happening even up to the second last lap here. Just going to say the Macedonian is putting a really solid drive after taking out tier 4. Promotion up to tier 2, not just one tier but 2 tiers it jumped up. He's put in a really solid season, finishing P3 overall behind his teammate Scotty, who we've already talked about having a great season as well. But yeah, impressive from Macedonian, not just this race but as the season as a whole, helping win that Constructors title with Scotty. But we are on to the last lap now. Bags Little has managed to close 3 tenths now to Banana Cake Pie, so Banana needs to find 3 tenths in this last lap to hang on to P2. Bags Little still clean on penalties. Banana Cake Pie with 3 seconds. Esnu with 6, so Esnu is safe for the lead, barring any major calamity. Macedonian's going to round the outside here. We might have to watch this little side by side first. Macedonian's going to squeeze down the inside and get the move done on Kickbutt Kiwi, and with limited corners left, that might be it. He'll get it on penalties anyway, but why not try and get it on track? Esnu is going to lap someone, I think, there as well, as we're trying to run on board. It's not letting me run on board for some reason. There we go. Esnui will come across the finish line to win the final race of the season in great style from pole position. Lost the lead, got it back. Has put in a really solid drive. Banana Cake Pie will take a fantastic P2, but he's not going to hang on to it, unfortunately. Bags Little is going to wreck the Renault party and take P2. Banana Cake Pie with the podium. Fantastic result nonetheless, as a track I know he loves. Macedonian, Kickbutt Kiwi, great little battle at the end there. Kickbutt Kiwi showing his appreciation by smashing across the line there. So great drive from Macedonian, last to 4th. Scotty takes P6, Rock 7th, Edmund will take P8th, Reaper 9th, and Crookie will just get Deal Dog here for P10. Just. Deal Dog with an extra penalty anyway, we'll get P11. Nighty Chang's had a pretty up and down race, P12. Blocky Rex with the second to last lap incident, and 5 seconds for the boot as well. Will looked pretty racy for a bit of it, but he had an incident as well, unfortunately. An F1 Hawk not going for a fastest lap. I wonder if he's just pit to do a bit of a celebration for his championship there. He's going to pull off into the pit area and might be doing some donuts here, and it looks like that's what he is doing. F1 Hawk enjoying the moment here. We can say as much as we want about this race's winners, but championships are not run in one race. They are won across a season's worth. 15 races of pure pace, consistency, class, determination, and all good things for F1 Hawk. Can really celebrate this championship win, as he's doing so now. Putting a few invisible skid marks on the pit entry runoff there. So yeah, worthy celebration. I don't mind that at all. Well deserving for F1 Hawk. having won the championship there. I'm not sure if he's going to make everyone else wait for another minute. It looks like he's done. So yeah, good stuff. Good way to end the season there for F1 Hawk. A couple of celebratory donuts after a really cracking race. Probably one of the best races of the season, I reckon. We had battles up and down the field for the entire race, which is really what you want to see as spectators. As we got Williams with a couple of hits off the car there across the line. But Macedonian driver of the day, very, very worthy selection there, as you mentioned, from last to fourth, or second last to fourth. But Esnui will take the big chocolates for this race. He gets the biggest trophy of the lot, ahead of Bags Little, who drove a pretty superb race there, getting by some traffic, timing his pit stop well and getting through on the medium tyres. And Bernard Pie rounding off a double Renault podium. He'll be wrapped with that, I'm sure. So yeah, that's been the Brazilian Grand Prix finale to what's been a cracking season. Season 4 action. Race Specs PS Pacific Series, sponsored by Go Workplace Training, Tier 2. That is a worthy race to end a fantastic season with. We'll run through the rest of the grid when the list loads up. So Macedonian 4th, kicked by Kiwi 5th, nice little battle at the end we saw there. Scotty 6th, good recovery. Could have been potentially a podium had he kept his nose clean and without the distance there. The Rock P7, Edmund, Reaper and Crook take top 10 as well. Just good effort for them. Depp, Artie, Cheng's, Blocky, Wood the tricky race, F1 Hawk doing who knows what at the end, and the Stone Tower rounds out the field. But that's been the finale, a finale of a cracking season. Really, really enjoyed commentating this season. We see some really fantastic racecraft, a bit of spice, a bit of controversy, a bit of action, but also some real classy racing, some really fantastic battles, great races all round, a lot of contenders for strong points. That's one good thing about a good tier like this. The quality is spread. There are so many guys who contend for podiums and top fives at every race, which makes the racing fantastic, makes the championship fight really exciting as well. So it's been, a season you can't really ask for too much more, honestly. In terms of season 5, I'm not too sure what the go is. So make sure you keep an eye on the socials for that. The Race Specs on YouTube. I think they're on Instagram and Twitter as well. There'll be information coming into season 5 about all that stuff as well. But I'm not too sure what the go is yet. So without looking too far ahead, keep an eye on those socials for information on that. But yeah, we might wind that up there after a fantastic season, an absolutely fantastic season, and a race to send it off on a high. We'll sign off, I reckon. Thank you so much once again to everyone who tunes into the streams, whether you tune into one race or all 15 of them. I appreciate you jumping along. Been some really fantastic racing in this tier. If you want to go see previous races, I think all but 2 or 3 of them are streamed on the YouTube channel, as well as the tier 1 action and tier 4 action, which happens at the same time as this, then tier 3 a bit earlier. All of them in the last round this week. Euros Americas on a bit later in the day, or tomorrow depending on where you are in the world. The Race Spec series on Sunday as well, for their finale at Brazil, plus the GT stuff still halfway through their season. So plenty of stuff happening in the Race Spec community. Make sure to check out all of that good stuff. But for the final time in season 4, thank you everyone for a cracking season, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you around in upcoming seasons. I'm not sure what sort of shape or form yet, but I'll definitely be back. Why would you not want to come back after some fantastic racing like we've seen this season? So thank you all once again, and have a lovely evening, or morning or afternoon, depending on where you are in the world, where you're tuning in from, and I'll catch you later.